Alex Isabidye Amusongola is back on the Kampala street lights, this time wearing a Bull FC jersey donned in yellow. URA Football Club, who showed him the exit door, will now watch him entering Hamza Stadium, Nachivo, with a point to prove after being dismissed as the URA FC head coach. Alexis Isabidye Musongola was hired by Bull FC Football Club, and he makes his return at Nachivo as Bull FC visits URA Football Club. And in the recent days, Bull FC have been bullying URA Football Club with the tax collectors, yet to register victory against the Eastern Giants in the last 5 matches. I am Alex Mugalu Bisma. I welcome you on today's coverage, as we shall be taking a look at that particular clash that will be going down under the lights of Hamza Stadium, Nachivo. That I will be, and of course, I'll be joined by Hassan Waswa Mawanda, who will be joining me on set to dig deep into today's clash, and Tendo and Nikta Musoke, with the two gentlemen whom we shall be discussing everything concerning today's clash between URA Football Club and Bull FC. The two sides come into today's clash, and you could think that
ceremonious, so he would want to have one at them to show them that probably they made a mistake. But again, we saw what happened in the previous set of games. Isabidye went to Maroons, a club that had troubled him so many times, and he again failed. For the 18th time, they lost 1-0. Hussein Barangu went to NEC. Similar situation to Isabidye, going back to his former paymasters, and he agonizingly lost to a penalty scored by his former, their former player, Annington Sebarunyo, who actually is his former player, is one who inspired them to recruit him. So I think they have nostalgic situations. Now, when you trace them to the last 5 games, they have all suffered in the 2 games. Of course, URA suffering more. They lost that game, and then the previous game to Express FC. For the likes of Bull, they had that loss against Maroons, and then a draw, which was very painful, against Mbarara City, and they were at home. So you think that it's kind of hard for them to come back. For Bull, those 2 results preceded 3 straight wins, one against Buhimba, one against Calvary, and against Police FC. You think that they had gained the momentum. Isabidye's football had increased. Then when you combine that with the performance in the Uganda Cup, despite the fact that they lost to Sports Club Vida, I think they gave a good performance football-wise. It's one of those sides. They actually exhibited football better than Vipers played in yesterday's game at Kadiba. I think it is Bull and UPPC that had good games at Kadiba against Sports Club Villa. So you would have thought that they had gained it, but then that loss against Maroons showed the character that they don't have, especially in teams that are troubling them. Now the question is, if that was a one-off, how are they going to operate themselves against URA? On paper, Bull has been beating URA. So if he does not perform in this one, then they will start thinking, maybe he came a little late after the Isabidye that we saw that took us the Uganda Cup, or he came too early. We could have held on to Chikomeko. So that is the challenge he's going to have, and how the team operates in that pressure is so determinant into what is going to happen in this game and in the future.
At Hamza Stadium, Nachivo, with Tendo mentioning about that particular start, that pit Bull Football Club ahead of URA FC, because Hassan, URA Football Club has been one of the favorite customers for Bull FC in the recent times. In the past 5 matches, URA Football Club has not registered victory against URA hasn't registered victory against Bull FC, with Bull winning 3 times and drawing only 2 times. With Alexis Isabidye knowing such a start exists, can he be able to continue with that winning run?
Of course, it's possible because Coach Alex understands you are a team better than anybody because most of the players that are at URA, I think, is one of the coaches that recruited most of these players. But all in all, you know, football is a game of discipline. And if you think that maybe records are still there, but records are there to be broken, and for URA, it is high time for them to turn things around and maybe get a win away from Bull FC. But all in all, it is up to these lads because URA, they've been having a couple of runs in the Uganda Cup, you know, being knocked out, and in the league as well. You know, they lost their recent game in Lugogo. But for me, it is something that they need to rectify, you know, understand what they did wrong in their previous game. And, you know, you're playing a team that has been winning most of the encounters, and playing a team like Bull FC, they're tricky. It is a tricky side. Teno spoke about them being a tricky side, and for URA, they have the quality, they have the seniority in there, but it is how these senior players turn up to on game day to see how they can collect maximum points for the team.
Kaliowa again, kept in play. Has to find a neck, deciding to go solo. Disappointing touch. Okello! It's a fine strike from Richard Okello as the Eastern Giants, away from Jinjia, at the Hams ground, have their account officially opened. Not just opening up the account, but of course opening up on a very, very good note with a stunning strike against Mohamed Sekeba. Bull Football Club lead against URA Football Club. That was really clumsy from Innocent Kisolo. While getting Richard Okello well placed in a very good position outside the official penalty area. Took time. While having his first touch, stretching up his eyes and shooting past at the hands of the goalkeeper. Poor defense. The bench area was almost sent for me. And Bunyaga, Bruno with another moment in the Startimes Uganda Premier League. Good finish. Sekula's, that Bunyaga's finish into the back of the net here for the Taxmen to equalize into the opening 2 minutes played so far in the second half. And that's why Bunyaga Bruno was given a chance today by the head coach Balango Hussein. It's a flick from a Godfrey Sechikwengo, and finding Bruno Bunyaga standing in between the two Bull Football Club players, Nicholas Mere and Walter Chora, for the last touch. Good delivery. Godfrey Sechikwengo, no. And of course, had to deliver the ball down to Bruno Bunyaga. Well, he knew where Bunyaga was coming in and knew where Bruno Bunyaga was heading, and that's what